Hello guys, in today's video we are going to learn about color theory. When we talk about color, we're talking about the visible spectrum of radiation that is reflected from an object. We sometimes use the word hue in place of the word color. Notice, although color has a psychological impact on us, it can be highly idiosyncratic, especially when it comes to personal color preferences and associations. Aspects of color experience are also bound by culture to some extent and can be specific to a particular location or era. Therefore, generalities about what colors signify or how certain colors make us feel should be viewed with a degree of uncertainty. Okay, when you come to Ghana, the color red sometimes is used to signify danger and sometimes funeral, sorrow, mourning. Okay, but when you go to the Western world, the same color red is used to signify love. So we shouldn't be so personal, shouldn't go personal with our colors, we shouldn't be so certain, but we should learn more about what colors as regards to the particular location or the era. Phew. So with that caveat in mind, we will examine the two primary modes of color meaning. So we have symbolism and analogy. Color symbolism, when a color is used to signify an abstract idea or represent a belief, it functions as a symbol. Sometimes the meanings attached to a color can differ or even be contradictory. The color blue, for example, can signify loyalty in true blue or melancholy, the blues. Now, color analogy. Unlike color symbolism, analogy is not experienced as a literary phenomenon, but as the direct result of observation. In these instances, colors are strictly visual and are unconsciously interpreted as analogies or sometimes non-visual experiences. They are felt, not thought. A good example of this, linking red, orange, and yellow with warmth reflects our historic relationship with fire, the sun, and the desert. Here are some colors and their meaning. Red signifies passion, love, energy, courage, anger. Sometimes it also signifies danger. Orange signifies enthusiasm, warmth, vitality, excitement. We have yellow, which signifies happiness, creativity, caution. Green, which also is represented with means nature, something natural or organic, harmony or healthy, sometimes represent growth. We also have blue, which represents calm, trust, dependability, sometimes loyalty. That is why most banks prefer blue. And we also have purple, which which signifies royalty, spirituality, creativity, and more. We have pink, which represents romance, tenderness, femininity, compassion. So mostly when you are doing something that is regards to females, we use the color pink. And brown, which represents earthiness, stability, simplicity, reliability, and warmth. We have black, which symbolizes elegance, power, sophistication, mystery, formality. We also have white, which represents purity, innocence, simplicity, cleanliness, peace. Gold, we all know, is money, and money is wealth. So whenever we see gold, we're trying to represent wealth, prosperity, success, luxury, and prestige. Now, hue. Hue is the main property of a color. So think of it like the science term for a color. If you've ever used the hue and saturation effects in Photoshop and moved the hue slider left or right, then you've changed all the hues in an image. So when you use the hue in a Photoshop, then you are changing the color of the image completely. So let's examine this. Let's open Photoshop. We look for an image that we are going to use for this example. Good. I have this image here. So I drag this image to Photoshop and release. So as you can see, this image is an image of a lady in a garden. We have green leaves all around. So we are going to use the hue saturation to understand what the hue actually means. So the hue saturation, we can come to the down here and we find hue saturation here. Okay. So when we come to our properties, we have hue. When you start moving the hue, you realize that all the colors in this image changes. And we have something which is different from what we had. So when you change this, you are changing all the colors in the picture. So hue here represents the colors in the picture. Alright, okay, so let's go back. We talk about saturation. Saturation is the intensity of a color. If a color is very saturated, it will look vibrant and pure. So let's go back to Photoshop and examine that too. So I can select only green and then shift the saturation high. So you realize that the green becomes very vibrant, right? The green becomes very vibrant. But if I bring saturation very down or very low, the green fades and becomes very pale. That is how saturation works. So it either makes it vibrant or makes it dull or makes it a little gray. We have value, also known as lightness or brightness. Value is how illuminated a color appears. The higher the value, the brighter the color, all the way up to white, and vice versa for lower values. Changing the value doesn't affect a color's saturation or hue, though. We talk about tint. A tint is created when a color is mixed with white, making it brighter. Shade. A shade is created when a color is mixed with black, making it darker. Tone. And a tone is produced when a color is mixed with gray, making it darker and duller. So looking at the colors we have here, from blue to a very much dull navy blue. Now let's learn about the color wheel. The color wheel is a circular arrangement of all the color hues, representing primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. What are the primary colors? So traditionally, red, yellow, and blue are considered to be the primary colors. Red, yellow, and blue are considered to be the primary colors. They can be mixed together to create secondary colors, but they themselves cannot be recreated. There is no color combination that can yield red. There is no color combination that can yield yellow. There is no color combination that can yield blue. Secondary colors. What are the secondary colors? So we have orange, green, and purple. Orange, green, and purple. They are considered secondary colors. They are created by mixing together the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and are conveniently positioned directly in between the primary colors on the color wheel. Let's learn about warm colors. Warm colors, if you draw a straight line through a color wheel, you can divide it in two color temperatures, warm and cool. The side with red, orange, and yellow are the warm colors. These warm colors tend to stand out more. We have cool colors. The other side of the wheel is what's considered to be cooler in temperature. Most notably purples, blues, and greens. Unlike warm colors, they tend to recede into an image. We talk about neutral colors. What are neutral colors? Colors that don't obviously fall into the warm color or cool category are neutral. So we have black, white, and gray. Like denim, they pair well with most colors. Earth tones like beige and some browns are also considered to be neutral colors. Neutral colors are great for balancing out a color palette and providing negative space in layouts. We have additive. Additive color is a technique using light to mix colors. The more colors that are added to the mixture, the brighter it gets until ultimately it reaches white. Most of our screens use RGB and additive color to produce the array of colors we see. Subtractive color. Subtractive color is a color mixing technique found in paints, inks, and printing. That's CMYK. Think of it like the opposite of additive color. When colors are mixed together or printed over each other, the visible wavelengths are subtracted and darkened. Mix enough colors together and all visible color will be lost, leaving you with black. Color modes. Color modes are mathematical representations of color. RGB and CMYK are the most common models you will run into, but there are other value-based ones you might see from time to time. Grayscale is exactly what you think it is, an image without any color. And bitmap is similar to grayscale, except it uses a limited number of values and does not have anti-aliasing, which makes it look jagged-edged and sharp. RGB is an additive color model that is used in most of the screens we stare at every day. It's short for red, green, and blue. RGB. Red, green, and blue. RGB mixes these three colors emitted from light to create a wide range of color range that is difficult to reproduce in print. CMYK. It is a subtractive color model used in 4-color process printing. It's a short for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So the K is black, which make up the 4 ink plates used to print. Color profile, also referred to as ICC profile and color space, is basically a device agnostic tool that tells a screen how to interpret and display color. Color management is essential in creating consistent looking color across different devices and screens. The most color profile is sRGB. Halftone. You might recognize halftone from old comic books and Roy Lichtenstein's pop art. Halftone is a printing technique using small dots that vary in both size and spacing to create a gradient effect. The approach is most commonly used in CMYK printing.